Welcome, class of HC. Like this video on your way in and comment present in the comment section below if you're here to become the best version of you. Here are the 4 steps on how to ground yourself. Step 1. Remember who you are. In this context, to remember who you are is to avoid falling for the illusion that what is meant for you is running away, which implies that you should be chasing it. Always ask yourself, if this is truly meant for me, why would it be fleeing me? Always remember, what is meant for you will not bribe you, confuse you, or lead you astray. Therefore, find peace in knowing that, despite what may sound promising theoretically, when the smoke clears and the dust settles, what is true will continue to be true, no matter the odds. To remember who you are is to trust that your gut feeling may be right. Thus, it is to refuse to be swayed and influenced by the emotions of the moment. Remember who you are, especially when you feel like you are being triggered or pushed in a direction that you do not intend to go. This means to remind yourself of everything that brought you to this moment, and to trust and have complete faith that whatever happens to you is happening for you, and that the universe is working with you and never against you. By keeping this lesson in mind, you are simultaneously grounding yourself in the present moment, and conscious that no matter how a situation may turn or end, you always have yourself, and that is all you need to create and continue to be. Step 2. Respect your boundaries. To respect your boundaries is to acknowledge that your boundaries were established for a reason. You matter. This means that despite what a person may feel or think about your boundaries still deserve to be respected if a relationship of any sort is to be maintained. Respecting your boundaries is an essential element to grounding yourself, because boundaries encompass the very person you are trying to protect, you. Think of boundaries as a force field surrounding you entirely at 360 degrees. With the help of this force field, you're protected from incoming debris and attacks as long as the force field is kept up. This very force field provided you with the opportunity to screen and examine things before they come into your space, so that you are able to properly identify and distinguish their purpose before allowing them into your life. Boundaries are essential to grounding yourself because when you can protect your essence, you can confidently continue to be. Upholding boundaries may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is important to always remember that you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person, just like you can never say the right thing to the wrong person. What is true will always live to serve its intended purpose. And having standards or high standards and boundaries attracts those with standards and boundaries as well. As you are, you attract. Step 3. Be honest with yourself. In this context, to be honest is to be conscious of exactly what you are going through that may be pushing you off of your center. It is often the case that we try to ignore the truth of a matter because our desire, hope, and expectation for something else to be true is so prevalent. For example, you call someone your friend because deep down you just want to be there for someone and hope that that person would be there for you in the same way, when in reality, you already know that that person specifically has stolen from you and treats you badly on numerous occasions, and has also left you hanging more times than you can afford to remember. In this scenario, deep down, you know that that person is not a true friend, but because of what you hope for, you ignore the reality of this truth. But always remember, you can ignore reality, but you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. To be honest with yourself is to give yourself a moment to ruminate and consider these lingering, hard-to-accept truths surrounding a situation that is irritating you or throwing you off, and to consider, based on what I know to be true, is this moment even worth my time and attention? To ground yourself, Confront the lies that you tell yourself to maintain illusions that you are comfortable with. Always remember, lying to yourself keeps you trapped in a reality that is confounded by the limits of that lie. Think of that lie and its limitations like the limitations to a game on a field that you created. If you are the only one who drew the limitations, you are the one choosing to believe that everyone is playing a game according to your limitations, when that is possibly not true at all. Just because you created the limitations, that does not mean that people will or have to respect them, and to believe that they simply will because they should is a fallacy. Be honest with yourself. Ground yourself in the truth of the moment. And finally, step 4. Love yourself. Always remember to love. In this context, to love yourself is to forgive yourself for what you are going through, and to remember that you are more than the sum of your mistakes and misfortunes. To love yourself is to remind yourself that you are always deserving of love and peace, and that you should never feel obligated to be a part of what you perceive as confusion, distraught, or destruction. You are not necessarily a bad person. You are a person going through a bad time. You deserve to be held and comforted. Like anyone else, you are deserving of positive energy and uplifting. When you love yourself, you refuse to be a part of or entertain anything that is not love. You will also be able to notice and identify illusions that present themselves as love but are not. This will help with grounding because when you truly love yourself, you are not easily swayed by the desire for the love of others. Loving yourself should be remembered and practiced every day. This can mean to literally remind yourself that you love yourself on a daily basis, but it can also mean to treat yourself better all around. Ritualize your routines and whatever processes that self-love means to you. View them not as something that you must do, but as something that you love doing. Set up your schedule so it serves and inspires you, and so that you can continue to become who you are confidently. Always love yourself first. Thanks for your attendance today, class. Before you leave today, please remember to like and subscribe, and make sure to share this link with a friend that you think needs to ground themselves. I'll see you here next class on Howell Consultations, the how-to being true to you.